Welcome to our ABC interview here. We're talking about business improvement districts with Martin Blackwell, who's a place management consultant in the UK and has had a lot of experience with business improvement districts. So welcome, Martin.
Good morning.
So, Martin, can I ask you about what is the benefit to council of a place management, a bid model?
Well, the benefit to the local authority, I think, goes all the way back to my early days in as a place manager. I was set up a partnership, a business partnership that on a voluntary basis, and then that led to legislation from national government. Um, but I think the big advantage for local government is there is then a body that they can talk to, but it is independent. And I think the independent bit is crucial to this. So the local authority has got to be a key stakeholder in any business improvement district, but must be independent of it. And the reason for that is that they won't always agree with each other, but there has to be a feeling that you're working in partnership and that one partner doesn't have control over the other. And in that way, we find that that model is perfect. There's very rarely any major issues, but because there are ways of always resolving those. But that independence, I think, is the fundamental bedrock of it, because otherwise it changes the relationship.
Yeah. So, what are the benefits for a small business to actually be part of a business improvement district?
Well, I think the benefits are similar for any size business, but if you're a small one, the way it works in the UK, we every business has a property tax, and the larger the business, the bigger property tax because they're in bigger property, and but you pay a percentage of that, somewhere usually between 1% and 3%. So a very small business would put in a very small amount, whereas a very large business would put in more. So it's proportional to the size of the business. But that gives them a voice, and they're at the table and they are able to talk to the authorities, whether that's the local council or the local police or anybody else, but as a collective. And so that is the key mechanism, really. But it also we've increasingly used it as a mechanism to lower costs. So, for example, a project I'm running at the moment, we're calling it the Buyers Club. We find that you take leisure and hospitality. They all use blue roll. They all use cleaning materials. We put together a scheme where we can buy them as a collective, get a much better price, get them delivered into a central hub, and then they're delivered to that business on cargo bikes. So we're doing it in a green way as well. So there's less deliveries around the city, and it's saving quite a lot of money. So doing things as a collective for the business community makes sense. But for the local authority, it's that key mechanism to understand the needs of the business community much better and have that channel of communication.
Okay, we're very excited in Australia because finally we've actually got community improvement districts, which are modelled on the business improvement district model in Sydney and New South Wales, and I think it's really a start of something happening. So I suppose you found that in the UK when once you got started and people saw what it was about, then the momentum started to get rolling.
Yeah, and it does take a little while for the concept to catch on. But there are a lot of national businesses in the UK, and once they started to see the benefits, they then had a policy that if it was done right and there was proper consultation and the business plan looked sensible, they'd vote for it. Um, there are a handful of businesses who always vote against it everywhere in the country, because it's their policy, but that is probably 1%.
Okay, 1%. And I suppose the thing about the bids is that once with the businesses in that area, they've all got to be part of it, and you can't have any abstainers. It's 100% in because everybody's getting the benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the UK, we have this dual key voting system where you have to get the majority of businesses to vote in favour of it, but you also have to get the majority of the rateable value. And the rateable value is the property tax. And one bit's to stop the little guys outvoting the big guys, and the other bit's to stop the big guys outvoting the little guys. So you have to get all the smaller businesses to vote in favour of it, but you have to get the big ones in favour as well. So that adds a little bit of layer of complication, but it's fair.
Yes. Okay. No, I just think there's so many opportunities with it, and it's really good now that it's come to Australia. And I think to see it go across New South Wales, and I think before long it'll start to head across the country. So I think it's a really good offer. So thank you very much, Martin, talking to us about business improvement districts today, and letting us tap into your vast knowledge. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And bids, honestly, they work with, I'm developing one in a town of 7,000 people, but, they work in cities of 7 million people. They work.
Thank you very much from the Adelaide Business Collective.
Thank you.